There's something special about discovering a budget game fueled by genuine passion and charm. The RPG is exactly that, a fun little journey packed with comedy and nods to classic games like Morrowind, Skyrim, and other niche favorites, using memes and quirky references to keep things lighthearted and entertaining. Developed solo, the RPG throws you into an open-world adventure where you play as an adventurer, not exactly a dragonborn even though there are clearly nods to the shout feature, waking up in the back of a wagon. You are brought to a new land to do exactly what adventurers do best, despite almost being killed by the glitchy dragon. This is a game that quickly gets you hooked on an immersive silly journey full of playful humor that is really well done and hard to skip out on. This game is all about having fun, which is part of the charm. The references don't feel low effort or lazy, and the humor lands just right. This is more of a shorter experience than you would expect, around 4 hours for a full playthrough, possibly a little bit more if you are chasing the 100% completion. It does end up feeling abrupt and underdeveloped, but that is fitting given the game's tone. The developer even admits in-game directly that they were not sure how to finish it, so it simply fades to the credits. The game is very minimalistic as you can tell by the design, but there is still plenty to explore and to experiment with. Every character is a joy to interact with, and new quests can appear around every corner. While the world itself isn't huge, its style is captivating enough to draw you in and keep you curious. Since this is an exploration-driven experience, I don't want to spoil too much. Similar to a game like Animal Crossing, the RPG features a range of voices that are generally soft, friendly, and cheerful. I really loved how these voices mix with the joyful expressions and dialogue. I felt like it was a perfect blend. This cheerful vibe is complemented by a lively soundtrack that sets the mood before you delve deep into the dungeons beneath the capital in search of treasures and hidden secrets. Beyond the aimless wandering and exploration, the full combat focuses on melee. Magic and ranged attacks, which are popular for good reasons, are banned here by the Cool King, as they would defeat the intended style of combat by cheesing everything. So you are limited to using melee and shouts, the way it's supposed to be played. After you're done exploring the town, you are tasked with speaking to the really cool king, who sends you out on many different missions which eventually leads you to slay the glitchy dragon. In return, the king promises riches and wealth. However, the dragon himself asks you to betray the really cool king and to spare all the monsters in the dungeon, which leaves you with two choices. The story's direction is up to you, and this adds a fun layer to the adventure. Of course, it wouldn't be much of an adventure without leveling up and customizing your character. The more monsters you defeat and quests you complete, the more loot, gold, and experience you will earn, which can be spent on better armor, improved stats, stronger weapons, and food to keep you alive as you continue to delve into the dungeon beneath the kingdom. There are plenty of zones that you can quickly reload into to grind EXP for tougher fights, along with many fun interactions like battling the glitchy dragon directly, having silly conversations with bosses, and NPCs scattered throughout, so it's best to just take your time. What really stood out here to me is that this game does not try to hold your hand or restrict you with invisible walls, forced quests, or tutorials like so many others do. If I wanted to climb the castle to search for a silly secret, I could. If I wanted to fly through the air using my shouts, I could also do that. There's nothing holding you back here, and that freedom is part of what makes this game work so well. To me, an RPG should be my adventure, not what the game deems acceptable for its adventure. If I had to point out anything that lowered the gameplay experience, it would be the occasional frame rate dips. When entering some dungeon zones, it felt a bit clunky at times, maybe due to the particle effects, but overall the performance of the entire game was solid, with ragdolling and animations. Some people might question the price, but the RPG is a genuine RPG experience. If you're like me and tend to rush through a lot of games rather than savoring every moment of lore, story, or silly interaction, you're still getting well over 8 hours of gameplay for under $15. For me, that's worth it. I had a lot of fun with this game, and I would love to see more from the developer. Honestly, I'd even be more excited for a future version with DLC and extra content. While the ending left something to be desired, overall I was satisfied with the experience. When all is said and done, I had a lot of fun with this game, and that's what games should be all about. If you consider yourself somebody who loves RPGs and charming, heartfelt comedy, this is one game you don't want to miss out on, as it pulls you into its pleasant world.